Hello everyone, I am here today with a new process video. I'm working on a double page 6x8 layout from my Dublin album. So as you can see, I'm kind of in the airport here and I have some things already picked out. I know I want to use this, but this is made for a traveler's notebook. So it's more 4x8. I need it to be 3x8 to fit in here. So I'm going to trim a little bit off of this side, a little bit over here, and then that still leaves me room to journal, which is my plan, at least at the moment. I have this photo, which just shows my boarding information. I flew from Minneapolis to Toronto and then Toronto to Dublin. So this is the Toronto airport, and I had never flown through Toronto before. So that's part of why I want to journal and talk about my experience and what I thought about it. It's quite a swanky airport. Then on this side, I had dropped a note in there saying, cut to 4x4 to fit journaling. I don't think I need to do that now because I found this. Now, I'm not opposed to cutting it to 4x4 because there is some stuff over here I could lose and the picture would still be good. So if I feel like I want to do that to work in something else, I will. But right now I'm thinking probably not because I can journal over here. The only other issue I have is when I was looking at how I had this laid out and thought I wanted it, all of the extra cards in journaling are on the left side, and I don't like that. So looking at it right now, I think I'm actually going to move one of these. I was thinking this, but then all the blue is pretty much on one side. So maybe I need to leave that there. Actually, if I put it here, then I'll have some space between the cards. I kind of like that. Ooh. You know, I kind of like that, and then that gives me a chance to work in some of that bright orange over here. So that tells me I probably need to find a card that's got orange in it for this space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my bin here that has everything in it for Ireland and Wales that I've collected so far and see if there are any cards in there that have orange, either as the whole thing or just as an accent, just something to work in that color. If I don't find anything in here, then I can always go into my regular travel cards as well. All right, I went into my stash of Dublin stuff, and let me tell you, orange is hard to come by. I didn't have a lot available. I had these stickers thrown in there, and there is some orange there. It's not quite the same, but it is a hue of orange, so I might be able to use that. And then these were the only two cards that I had that I thought would even be close to working. This one has orange here. This one definitely has more. Initially, I kind of like the idea of it sort of being monochromatic in terms that there's a lot of black and gray in there, but I feel like that's not enough orange. It doesn't really bring out the contrast. Let's see this one. That's definitely brighter, but is it too much? I like that these are in opposite corners, so that helps. I'm wondering if I use that one, and it really has an appropriate phrase, so I do like that. If I use that, maybe I could add in some orange like on this side, bottom or here. I think here would be, I don't like it across from this, but maybe over here I can find a circle or some kind of element that I can hang off the side here. So you know what? That's the winner. I'm going with that one. All right, so I just cut this piece down, and for some reason, even though I had this right here, when I was looking at this, in my head, I thought 3x8 was wider. I thought I'd have more room. I don't know that this is really sufficient for journaling, so I'm not quite sure what to do about that, because even if I could find a label or something to add on here to journal, I don't think I have enough room. I think I'd maybe have enough room for something small and then like could stamp in it or something, but I don't know that there's enough room to journal there. So I have some dead space here. I could add a larger tag up there and just say like, this was my first time in the Toronto airport or something like that. Or maybe down here, or I still have the option of cutting this and then journaling on the side, which I'm kind of liking that idea, but I want to look through my tags and labels and other embellishments for something orange too, just to kind of see what I can do over here first. So I should mention that this card comes from a travel release by Ali Edwards, and it came with a bunch of stuff in the bundle, and I bought almost everything, not quite, but almost everything. And part of what came in there was some 4x6 cards, and ta-da, this is one of them. Now, obviously, whoops, you could use it as is, but I'm guessing most people cut these into strips, and I think that was her intent. Look what this says. It's orange, and it says Airport Adventure. Now this part, I would probably cut these apart and use this as one and then as two, and I don't need them both. But the fact that it says Airport Adventure kind of makes me think like that was meant to be. All right, I have that piece cut down and I'm loving it. Now the question is where to put it. And I have some dead space here, so I could certainly do that. It doesn't go in a perfect visual triangle, so I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it does take up some space. I also did think about putting it kind of right here in the middle, because if it overlaps, you can still see that it says 2020, obviously, and it's not a triangle, but it leads the eye diagonally. So I'm thinking that it's probably here. I still haven't quite given up on this. I'm just not sure. So I think I'm going to look for some other things to add to this page before I make the final decision on where that's going to go. All right, you know what, people? Sometimes when you're working on a layout, it just reveals itself. Things come to you. I was having trouble finding anything else to go with this. So I went back into my Ellie Edwards travel stuff, and I have these puffy stickers, and they're black and white, which matches, and look at that right there. It's a maple leaf for Canada. So I think I am going to double up here. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use the maple leaf there, kind of right on top to show, yes, I was in Canada. And then I still might do something over here, but I love the idea of placing that in the middle. All right, so when I was looking for something to do over here, I came across these labels, and I think they came with this set. They sure look like the colors are the same, and I love this big light blue label. So I think what I'm going to do, and these are stickers, by the way, they're from Kelly Perky, which is now Paper Person, but back when I got these, it was still under the Kelly Perky brand. I think I'm going to put it right there. And yes, these will be across from each other, but I'm okay with that because it brings in the blue across the page. And then if I write small enough, I should be able to write in there first time in Toronto or flying into Toronto, something like that. I'll figure it out. All right, that's what I decided to go with for the journaling. And I did notice, though, these labels have a very kind of slick surface to them, and I didn't use a slick writer. I just used my normal micron pen, so I'm going to be very careful and let that dry before I put it in the pocket. But at least for now, I can put in, hold it carefully, a mini staple here. Perfect. So that will sit like that. And then, do I need anything else? I'm wondering if I still need something kind of over here to block out that, or even something over here. This one I think is better off on its own because it's got a lot of color happening. It's busy already, so I don't know that I need anything else. But this just seems kind of blue over here. So I'm going to think about that, and then I'll be back. Well, as I was sitting here looking at this, I realized I forgot the word the. It says first time in Toronto Airport instead of in the Toronto Airport. So I'm mad at myself for that. Now, luckily I have 2 sheets of these. So I could simply take out the staple, do another one, add it back in. I'm trying to decide if I care enough. Like, is it going to bug me, and do I want to remove it and redo it? I'm not sure. For now, I'm going to let it sit there. But I do have the option where I could redo it if I want to. Well, guess what? I decided it bothered me. So all I did was I took out the staple, I covered it up exactly over the top with the other label, I rewrote it, and this time I actually used a slick writer so that it wouldn't smear, and now I can put in the staple for the second time. There we go. All right, so I've switched up the cards so that they do go kind of in a diagonal order there, because I want to have something over here, and it didn't look right having whatever I put here is so close to this. So I'm switching those. Now they'll be in that configuration. This will be on the side here, and I can do something over here. I do have more of these stickers where I could maybe use one of the circles, which would kind of mimic the zeros in here. I'm not sure exactly what, but maybe something on here. I did choose to go with the darker blue circle, and now I'm going to find something to stamp in there. So I've pulled out this stamp set and I'm just going to stamp the word go, because it'll fit perfectly right in the center. So after I did that circle, I decided I did need another one over here, just so they'd be in opposite corners. It would balance them out and I'd get the circular elements. So I chose to do this one on the other blue, and I did a camera. And because I knew those stickers were kind of slick, I decided to go with Stays On, which is definitely what you want to use if you've got any kind of surface where you're worried that something might smear. This is the way to go. All right, so now everything is in the pockets, and I'll do some close-ups. So here is the left side. This is kind of a unique protector because I've got 2 3x4s and then the long 3x8, and I'm digging it. I really like that style. And then this is the right-hand side. So here's another one done for my Dublin album. Thanks for watching.